What's up, everyone? Eva here from Eva Under Fire, and this is May the Rock Be With You.
Eva, welcome to May the Rock Be With You.
Wonderful. Thanks for having me.
No worries at all. Now, of course, we're here for a sort of a weird reason. We're here to talk about a movie to start off with. So, The
Yeah.
Retaliators.
Yeah.
It's coming out. Well, it's hitting theaters, I think, for one day on the 14th of September. I think we're hitting that up here, which is amazing. I saw it a
I
couple of
know.
months ago. Absolutely loved it. Really enjoyed it.
Yay.
Tell me about getting the call up to be in the movie.
Yeah, it was a really interesting sort of vibe. One of the first things that I was part of that the label was involved with. And, it turned out someone else who was supposed to have played this smaller role in the film couldn't make it. So my manager was like, hey, I've got this other girl. They were like, all right, Eve Under Fire. Yeah, let's do that. So, and turns out I'm not actually a scary movie fan. I'm very much a chicken.
Me neither.
So, right. But this had very cool, like Evil Dead vibes, which I loved. So I don't know what was your take on the film? I know. Thank you for watching it. It was
Yeah,
it was
I honestly,
fascinating.
same thing. Like I told the label when they invited me along, and I'm like, I hate horror movies. They're like, no, it's fun. And I watched it and I was laughing through it, and I loved all the cameos and the music. And it was just, like you said, it was very Ash Evil Dead kind of vibe with a really, really, really good soundtrack.
Awesome. Yeah, I'm so glad that you picked up on that same kind of like
Yeah.
vibe, because I think that this is a movie that like if you're not even like a big scary movie horror buff fan that you would really enjoy it, especially because it's coming out at such a great time too with like Halloween right around the corner and like who doesn't want to participate in Halloween, right?
Yeah. Exactly. Now, you've obviously seen the final cut. What was your take on when you watched it for the first time?
Oh man, it was excuse you, I am on an interview. It's my kitty. Sorry. Murph. He's always trying to be part of the show.
Love it.
But but when I first saw it, I was really kind of taken by the whole, like you said, like, you're laughing through some of it, some of it's very campy,
Yeah.
intentionally so, and the as I got further and further along in the film and seeing kind of like those end scenes and how they did, so much gore,
Yeah.
total gore fest, which was super fun. And I was like, I found myself cheering for my teammates almost, I was like, get him,
Nice.
it had built to that really nicely, I feel like. And also being part of the film, I really got to know a lot of those guys on set. So it was really fun to see.
Awesome. Well, now, I love the idea of keeping it in the Better Noise family. What's it like working with everyone to make this all come together with the label and all the artists and all that sort of stuff?
Yeah, it was really fun. I think it was also my first introduction to a lot of people on the label because of us just coming on board shortly before the film had started
Mm.
filming. So, getting to meet like huge celebrities that I've been fans of for years was great, So like my very first time on set, I met Jacoby Shaddix with Papa Roach. Had also kind of like gotten a chance to say hello to a couple of the other guys shortly thereafter, also because of the a different path, I guess, meeting the guys in From Ashes to New, but then also subsequently being able to work with Spencer from Ice Nine
Mhm.
Kills all happened as a result of this Retaliators thing. So it was really, really cool first experience. And Jacoby is just the kindest human ever.
Yeah.
So that was also really cool.
I've spoken to Jacoby a couple of times. He's just a genuine dude. He's so nice.
Such a nice guy, right? And I mean, our first actual interaction occurred, I don't know, he'd been in like prosthetic makeup for
Mm.
13 and a half hours, right? And so I was just trying to like get all of the gore kind of stuff off of my face. And he's, down the hallway a little bit trying to scrape the gore off of his face. And I didn't say much, except for just wave, and let him do his thing. And then he said, to me, hey, how's recording going? I hear you guys are coming up on the first album with the label. It's so great. I'm sure we'll work together in the future. I'm hoping the future is soon. And it was really cool of him to just take it upon himself to sort of onboard me and ask how that whole process was going so I could talk excitedly about it. And,
Nice.
after all of that time in makeup, I was like, this guy's awesome.
Yeah. And not giving anything away about the movie, but very, very different in the movie compared to real life.
Oh yeah, yeah. He played that part to a T though, and I think he just because again you have to have fun with it, you know.
Yeah.
So I think he just let it ride.
Yeah. Now, in terms of music, you talked about working with Spencer. You had Blow on the soundtrack, which is awesome. Now,
Yes.
was that written for the movie, or was that something you'd already done but just reworked with Spencer a little bit?
Yeah, we did. We reworked it. So it was interesting that they chose that for, because we were turning in everything for the album at that time. And that was the first one. They were like, yeah, this should be the single. And I was like, great. And they said it should also be on the soundtrack. And I was like, how are we
Hmm?
going to do that? Because when you listen to the song, it's not necessarily something that screams horror movie vibes, But when they sent the treatment for how they would picture reworking this, I was like, this has to happen. This is amazing. So we, and as you guys, if you've not checked out the music video for that song, you need to because it was done on the set of Retaliators.
Yeah, it's very good. Now, have you been working on more for maybe a new album coming? You talked about your first one on the Better Noise coming up. What's happening with that?
Oh yes. Oh yes. So and just to take it back a moment, Spencer actually, when he hopped on the track, which I was like, oh, that's a far-fetched idea, until I learned that he was part of the Retaliators movie. And I was like, this could be cool. He
Mm.
was the one to suggest, hey, let's rewrite that second verse according to my character's part in the film. And I was like, that's an amazing idea. Let's do that. So then I think it tied in nicely once he was a part of the music video. But yes, you heard correctly, full length. Calm. Oh my goodness. I'm sorry.
Great.
Come here, Murph. I mean, if you're going to demand to be part of the show, maybe we
Yeah,
should
yeah,
just
bring
have
him
him
in.
on. Come on. But he is yes, you heard correctly. We're doing the first full record, Love, Drugs, and Misery. Blow will be part of, and that is coming out on September 23rd. Full
Oh,
full album will be available on September 23rd. Where did he go? Now he's left. He's flown the coop.
he's
Good
shy
grief.
now. Like,
I know. Now he's shy. I was going to put him on camera, and he was like, "No, I just want pets from afar." Uh,
that's amazing. So very soon.
yes, yeah. So we're right around the corner. I'm so excited. This record. I mean, with everything that happened in the world, pandemic that shall not be named.
Mm.
It's been a roller coaster to try to actually find the moment to get it out. But I'm so grateful to management and to the label for their just massive amount of support even during the whole like world shutting down thing.
Yeah.
We're finally able to put it out, so I can't wait.
Nice. I wanted to ask about that though, because chatting to artists who have written and released music and made records during the pandemic, some found it therapeutic, some struggled to write, some thrived on it. What was your experience with writing music during that time?
It was real experimental. I feel like we were pretty disillusioned because at that point we had turned in all of the songs that are currently going to be on the record. The record
Mm.
had been approved and it was originally scheduled to release in March of 2020.
Oh wow.
So, and right, right. And then March of 2020 happened. We all know what went down, and it was just a massive nightmare. But we were able to, so our management and label were kind of scrambling to be like, okay, well, what can we do to try and keep things moving along? So, lots of writers, their schedule stuff had cleared,
Mm.
things weren't going on, so we actually got into write with um, some really cool people just as a result. I mean, via Zoom chat,
Mm. Yeah, yeah.
Um, but it was weird because we were like, okay, we got to scramble and get like our own little setup in the basement kind of deal because we couldn't go in person to the studio. But it was really cool to meet like Keith Wallen from Breaking Ben and a couple others that we were able to kind of connect with. And so
Wow.
hopefully some of those we've maintained friends, Instagram friends, over the course of time. So maybe those things come to fruition later on down the line. So we still did have fun writing with those guys, and it was cool to meet them.
Awesome. Breaking Benjamin's one of my favorite bands. They'll never tour here because Ben doesn't fly. So they're never ever coming to Australia.
I know. Maybe if we get big enough, we could try to pull them along, get them on a boat or something.
He said
Come
that.
see you
He goes,
guys.
I'll take a cruise ship. I'll come down.
Right, right. Playing cruise ships. We were able to play shipwreck. That was amazing. So I am not opposed to playing cruise ships.
Amazing. Well, maybe I'll have to come over and see you guys over there. Let's do it that way.
There you go. There you go. We'll make this work. We'll
Yeah,
make
nice.
this work.
Now I have to ask about your amazing cover of Separate Ways by Journey. It's one of my favorite songs. It's, a song that's come back into prominence again. It's been on Stranger Things and it's been all over the place. Why did you decide to tackle that Journey classic?
Isn't that interesting? So during COVID, not knowing what we were doing, there was one local promoter that we've been friends with for years. And she said, look, I got a food truck out by the riverside for the summer. If you guys can come and jam for a few hours, that would be really great. And we were like, all right,
Hmm.
whatever. This is the only gig in town, And so we did an Eva undercover sort of thing.
Awesome.
We learned a ton of covers, right? And Journey was one that just sort of stuck. We played it acoustically Riverside, and then we started to incorporate it into our live set, full band, and people were just loving it. So
Mm.
we were like, okay, well, wait, maybe we should just like put this out and see what happens. And then Stranger Things used a more rocked up version of it, and I was like, missed opportunity. It should have been ours,
Mm.
But of course, it just sort of happened that it was, cool happenstance that it became. There was a resurgence from that Stranger
Awesome.
Things too. So yeah.
Can't complain about that. Now, you talked about touring. You've been on the ship and everything. You've been out playing again. What's it like being back out playing after so long of not being able to?
Uh, so rewarding,
Mm.
truly. I mean, rock and roll people have grown up listening to, they always go into the smaller clubs, it's like where they find themselves, and they have such camaraderie amongst rockers in general. And so I feel like the live show for rock music means something different to people. That's more than just entertainment. It's where they get real world like connection too with other people. So there's just this massive amount of appreciation that we see, and now being able to get onto bigger stages than we've ever been to, it's just like an incredible ride.
Yeah, that's amazing. Now, I have to ask, do you think we'll ever see you down here?
Oh, I'm coming as soon as they ask me to. I'm coming. as
Amazing.
soon as as soon as finances will allow me to come, I'm coming. So we can't wait. Like I said, we've got this next this album is the first full length that we've been able to put out with the label. And I mean, if y'all love it and you guys are helping us to get those numbers up, I'm sure that we'll be over there sooner rather than later.
Have a chat to that Jacoby fella and try and tag on a Papa Roach tour or something, if they come over here.
You see, we're on the same page, my friend.
Yeah,
Same page.
I think we're good. Now, the last 2 years have been absolute doozies for everybody. But what, if anything, has this whole situation taught you you'll now maintain through your life and career?
I think it allowed me to just let go of a lot of anxieties, right? Everybody tries to have these plans and they're so well thought out. And I've had, okay, A, B, and C as I move through my life, right? How I envision where I'll be at in my 5 year plan, 10 year plan, right? I've been
Yeah.
very strategic about it. And I think that this was the one thing that ripped everything out from underneath you, from for me as a person, that was my experience. And it was just, I don't need to be so tied to my plans emotionally. And I just want to be able to enjoy and capitalize on those moments with loved ones, and even just within music, my own passions, just sitting outside in my yard enjoying the tree line that I have at the back of my property is like
Nice.
all of a sudden becomes much more important. So I think I'll carry that. It was it's a good thing for me, to just sort of let live a little.
Yeah, I think it reset everybody. I think, like you said, I think everybody started to think the same way. Nothing is that important. You know what I mean? Like, it's just take some time.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, taught me a lot, and I agree with you. Hard reset, and,
Mm,
and maybe I needed that.
good. Now, let's look back. You've only been doing this. How long have you been doing this? Is it what, 6 or 7 years roughly?
Yeah, this lineup is 7 years.
Yeah. So let's look back, because it can be very easy to say what can change even over that amount of time. But what's the one thing that's always remained the same for you within that time?
That I wanted to do it meaningfully, authentically. And I think that even just the journey that our band has experienced is pretty incredible. I'm learning the more that we tour with other people and get to know new friends, that they're also kind of fascinated by the fact that our story is very old school. My bass player Ed and other rhythm guitar Chris, they've literally known each other since grade school, like first
Cool.
grade, and like I have met all of these guys as a result of playing in different local bands and different projects over the years. Corey, our drummer, came from a different band. I came from a different band. Rob had been playing for years and was actually a part of my old band. And then we started this new one together
Cool.
with Chris. So it was like all of us just sort of came from different projects, in Southeast Michigan, Detroit Metro. Years and years and years later, we all just kind of were like, hey, we miss it. We should jam. And we immediately fell back in love with playing music, and doing it together kind of created this new cool thing, because we'd all been experienced writers from before. So I think we found the right one. It's like a little tiny local super group
Yep,
that made
totally.
it.
Well, I'm very sorry to hear the band won't be around because you're going to be an actor now. So, it's
Yeah. You know what? That was cool that they were all like, hey, whatever angle we can use, right? Like, get in there, if you really like acting, get in there. Tell them all about you, Butterfly. So my guys are very supportive, because as I mentioned, we've been friends for years. So, but I think I would be very typecast though, as an actress. I feel more free as a musician. So hopefully that one just works out better.
it'll just help with the music videos. There you go.
Yeah, exactly.
See, there's always a win-win here. It's just great. Now, lastly, let's look ahead to the future with a prediction. I always like doing this because I want you to finish this sentence for me. By the end of 2022, Eva Under Fire will
release a massive first album, Love, Drugs, and Misery, that will just dominate airwaves all over the place, will create global demand for the band, and come see you guys soon.
Oh, see, very, very good. Well, I can't wait to hear it, and I can't wait for people to see you in this movie. It's going to be a whole lot of fun. I think a very, very big year for you guys, which is going to be awesome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for having me again. This was great. I love that question. That last question was good. I love it. Positivity, future thinking.
You have to, right? That's what we're going to put out there. There's too much negativity. We need much more positivity in the world.
So agree, my friend.
Thank you so much for your time, Eva. Absolute pleasure. I can't wait to hear the record. I can't wait to hang out with you when you come to Sydney. It's going to be awesome.
Perfect. Thank you so much. We'll see you guys hopefully soon.
Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.